Do people want privacy? Because they seem to put everything on the internet.
Well, right now
practically.
they're confused. But when you're talking about your Neuralink and this idea that one day we are going to be able to share information and we're going to be some sort of a thing that's symbiotically connected.
Yeah, I think we really need to worry about security in that situation.
And when,
for sure, that's like a security will be paramount.
Sure.
Yeah.
But also, what we will be is we'll be so much different. Our concerns about money, about status, about all these things will seemingly go by the wayside if we really become enlightened. If we really become artificially enlightened by some sort of an AI interface where we have this symbiotic relationship with some new internet type connection to information. What happens then? What is important and what is not important? Is privacy important when we're all gods?
I mean, I think the things that we think are important to keep private right now,
right,
we probably will not think are important.
Shame, right? Information, right? What are you hiding? Emotions? Yeah. What are we hiding?
I mean, I think I don't know, maybe it's like embarrassing stuff.
Right, embarrassing stuff.
But there's actually, I think there's not that much that's kept private that is actually relevant.
Right.
That other people would actually care about. You may think other people care about it, but they don't really care about it, and certainly governments don't.
Well, some people care about it, but then it gets weird when it gets exposed. Like Jennifer Lawrence, when all those naked pictures of her got exposed. I think in some ways people liked her more. They realize she's just a person, just a girl who likes sex and is just alive and has a boyfriend and sends him messages, and now you get to look into it, and you probably shouldn't have, but somebody let it go and they put it online, and all right.
She seems to be doing okay.
She's a person. She's just you and me, and it's the same thing. She's just in some weird place where she's on a 35-foot tall screen with music playing every time she talks.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure she's not happy about it, but she's clearly doing fine.
But once this interface is fully realized, where we really do become something far more powerful in terms of our cognitive ability, our ability to understand irrational thoughts and mitigate them, and that we're all connected in some sort of an insane way. What are our thoughts on wealth? Our thoughts on social status, how many of those just evaporate, and our need for privacy? Maybe our need for privacy will be the ultimate bottleneck that we'll have to surpass.
I think the things that we think are important now will probably not be important in the future, but there will be things that are important.
What will be more
different
important?
Things. I don't know, there might be some war of ideas potentially. I don't think Darwin's going away.
Right.
Darwin's going to be there. Darwin will be there forever.
Forever. Yeah.
It would just be a different arena. Different arena.
A digital arena.
Different arena. Darwin's not going away.
What keeps you up at night?
Well, it's quite hard to run companies.
Yeah.
Especially car companies, I have to say. It's quite challenging.
The car business is the hardest one of all the things you do?
Yes.
Because it's a consumer-oriented business as opposed to SpaceX and...
Not that SpaceX is no walk in the park, but a car company, it's very difficult to keep a car company alive. It's very difficult. There's only 2 car companies in the history of American car companies that haven't gone bankrupt, and that's Ford and Tesla. That's it.
Yeah, Ford rode out that crazy storm, huh? They're the only ones.
By the skin of their teeth.
Shout out to the Mustang.
Yeah.
Yeah, by the skin of their teeth. That is interesting, right?
Same with Tesla. We barely survived.
How close did you get to folding?
Very close. 2008 is not a good time to be a car company, especially a startup car company, and especially an electric car company. That was like stupidity squared.
And this is when you had those cool roadsters with the T-top, with the target top?
Yeah. We had used a highly modified Elise chassis. The body was all completely different. By the way, that was a super dumb strategy that we actually did.
Why was it dumb?
It was based on two false premises. One false premise was that we'd be able to cheaply convert the Lotus Elise and use that as a car platform, and that we would be able to use technology from this little company called AC Propulsion for the electric drivetrain and the battery. Problem is, the AC Propulsion technology did not work in production, and we ended up using none of it in the long term. None of it. We had to redesign everything. And then once you add a battery pack and an electric motor to the car, it got heavier. It got 30% heavier. Invalidated the entire structure, all the crash structure. Everything had to be redone. Nothing. I think it had less than 7% of the parts were common with any other device, including cars or anything.
Less than 7%?
Yes.
Everything, including tires and wheels, bolts, brakes.
Yeah, even
steering wheel, seats.
The steering wheel was, I think the steering wheel was almost the same. Yes, the windscreen. The windscreen.
Different.
No, I think the windscreen was the same.
Same.
Yes, I think we were able to keep the windscreen.
Less than 7%. So that's basically
every body panel was different. The entire structure was different. We couldn't use the HVAC system. The air conditioner was a belt-driven air conditioner. So now we needed something that was electrically driven. We needed a new AC compressor.
And all that takes away from the battery life as well, right?
Yeah, we needed a small, highly efficient air conditioning system that fit in a tiny car and was electrically powered, not belt-driven. It was very difficult.
How much did those weigh? Those cars, the Roadster.
I think it was about 2,700 pounds.
That's still very light.
Depending on which version, 2,650 to 2,750 pounds, something like that.
And what was the weight distribution?
It was about 50. Well, there were different versions of the car. So it was about 55 on the rear. It was rear bias.
Right, but not bad. Like considering like a 911, which is like one of the most popular sports cars of all time, heavy rear end bias.
Well, I mean, yeah, the 911. I think the joke is like they managed to do it despite Newton not being on their side.
Yeah.
If you're fighting Newton, it's very difficult.
Well,
it's like you've got the moments of inertia on a 911 don't make any sense.
They do once you understand them. Once you understand,
you don't want to hang the engine off the ass. This is not a wise move.
You don't want to let up on the gas when you're in a corner.
The problem with something that's where the engine is mounted over the rear axle or off the rear axle towards the rear is that your pull moment of inertia is fundamentally screwed. You cannot solve this. It's unsolvable. You're screwed.
Right.
Pull moment of inertia you're screwed.
Right.
Like essentially, if you spun the car like a top.